People that have been on this channel for a while may know that I did not like Your Vice is a Locked Room and Only I Have the Key. Well, it's time to circle back around. I finally watched it for the second time. So here it is, my thoughts on Your Vice. This is a 1972 giallo directed by the great Sergio Martino. It is one of the very first gialli that I ever watched. Not great for beginners, but that is the path that I took. I didn't like it. But I thought to myself, because it is so beloved, I thought to myself, well, maybe like I was too fresh, maybe I was too new, maybe I remembered things wrong. So it's been 5 years. I have rewatched it last night, and I didn't remember things wrong. I remember it very well. I'm still not a fan. Okay, so let's break it down. Oh, I didn't write a synopsis. Okay, so what is this movie? This movie is about a terrible marriage, a husband and wife who live in sort of a remote, rustic mansion slash villa. Not exactly a castle, because it's a little farmy. The husband is very abusive. So they're just on their struggle, and their sexy niece comes to visit. And also there's a killer on the loose. In this video, I won't spoil the ending. And this is going to be much more of like an off-the-cuff kind of video. Oh yeah, and if you haven't seen this movie, I am going to be talking about animal cruelty again. I watched it last night thanks to King of Doom, aka Ursula. So unfortunately, Ursula, my conclusion is not positive. Like I said, this is not a great one for beginners. At least not for beginners such as myself. But I will say that it does hit a little better now that I know more about the genre and these actors who are in the film. It does have an impressive cast. We have Luigi Pistilli, who's a regular in the genre, Anita Strindberg, the giallo mom, as I say. We have Edwige Fenech, of course, one of the top queens. We have Ivan Rassimov and Daniela Giordano. While this film does check many of those giallo boxes, taking on many of the like tropes and characteristics that you see from the genre, this film is different. It's a little bit unconventional in the giallo sphere, a little bit non-traditional. It looks different. It feels different. And it's very dark, very grim, bleak, and just gloomy. It is not a feel-good movie. Now, of course, not every giallo is a feel-good movie, and I do like some of the darker ones, like Solange and Murder Obsession, which I just recently watched again. But something about this film, it just feels icky. I would just describe this film as really mean. It's really, really mean. Your Vice has really dark themes, and it doesn't give us much to temper that darkness with. You know, like some gialli will be super glamorous, or they'll super fun, or have like really likable characters, or they'll just be stupid enough that you have something to laugh at. But this film, I guess to its credit, isn't stupid enough to laugh at, but yeah, it doesn't give any relief. There's a lot of discomfort here, which I know can be a good thing, but it's pretty racist, but a lot of films from this time period are. And there's also just constant abuse throughout. Ultimately, my impression of this film is it's a long story of ongoing abuse interspliced with constant yowling of a cat. This cat is screaming intermittently throughout the whole movie. This cat is even after it's dead. Yes, the cat gets murdered, and let me just say, the murder of a cat in this movie does not bother me as much as it screaming throughout the entirety of the film. My two cats were just trying to sleep. They were just trying to sleep, and this thing kept popping up and screaming, disrupting My poor little angels. And I remember this 5 years ago. I remember having to constantly mute or turn down the movie because of the all throughout. Disturbing my cats once again. Yes, even after it's dead, we keep getting like cat flashbacks. It's too much. This is also an incestuous movie. So it's not very sexy. Okay? And something that I am gathering people applaud this movie for is the sex scene between Anita Strindberg and Edwige Fenech. And let's keep in mind, this is an aunt and a niece, but it's by marriage, so it's okay, I guess. But y'all, this isn't sexy, okay? It's shot like artistically and everything, but it's all very close up, so you don't feel like you're really getting the full view of what's happening. But even more than that, this isn't like a ooh, this isn't like a little naughty tee-hee kind of scene. It's sort of an emotional thing, like, and it's sort of like a matronly, they're there, like, oh, come here, like, you know what I mean? And even though Anita is the older character, it's actually Edwige who's moving it in this like motherly capacity. So in a way, it makes it feel even more incestuous. It's not like fun time. It's like this cathartic, very emotional encounter, and it feels weird. And in terms of the way the film looks, it's not the most dazzling, which is what a lot of Martino's work is, very like artistic and beautiful and visually pleasing. And I understand why this film doesn't look flashy. It's kind of gritty and crusty and dusty. It's like, I guess we're in this house that used to be grand, and now it's kind of falling down a little bit. Anita, obviously being an abused woman, is not looking very glamorous. She's wearing a lot of washed out colors and things, which again, that makes sense. It's what the movie is supposed to look like. And Luigi Pistilli is really sweaty. Edwige looks beautiful though. I love this hair. I love all the haircuts, but I love the short hair. You know, I guess you could actually call this a rural giallo. I don't know if people like describe the film in that way, but when you think about it, it kind of is. Even though they're like wealthy, it still has a very like rustic feel to it. And speaking of these three, the performances are really effective, indisputably effective. Like, you hate Luigi from the jump. Anita, as someone who's constantly being tortured, I mean, she really has a great performance. I couldn't stop watching her. She was just superb. And Edwige's character was a little strange. Not normal Edwige kind of character, I guess. She was someone who was a little bit of a troll, a little bit hard to read what are her intentions, but ultimately she is someone who's very cold, and it was kind of cool to see Edwige give that. However, her character was definitely holding back a little bit, so it was hard to really get a true impression of her character. And even Rossi in here, he looks great with silver hair. But I think his role is just a little bit too small. You know, like, it could have been anybody. You know what I mean? So it kind of felt like a waste. Ultimately, I just find this movie a little bit of a drag. It is a downer the entire time, and again, I know that some people love that. I love that sometimes, but I don't love it in this case. Basically, you're just watching prolonged misery the whole time, and having to deal with insufferable people doing insufferable things and hearing a cat scream the whole time. I will say that, like Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward, this is another one of those stories where you have like what seems to be the main story, and then there's this sort of like B plot that a killer is killing people. Like, that's sort of a side dish to what's really the main focus in the film. So you're watching these family dynamics between husband, wife, and niece, and also people are getting killed. So it's interesting, the final reveal, which admittedly is good and worthy and very giallo. It's a surprise, of course. So by the time you get to the reveal, you realize like, hey, I haven't really tried to think about who the killer is because I've been busy like focusing on this stuff, right? So it inevitably is a surprise because you're not really thinking about it because who the killer is sort of like on the back burner. So I thought it was a very satisfactory giallo ending. I just didn't really like the path to get there. This is a little bit shorter of a video, but those are my thoughts coming right out of Your Vice is a Locked Room and Only I Have the Key. Second watch. I don't like it, but I respect it. I think it's worthy of, you know, being part of anyone's giallo journey. It's worthy of discussion, and it is a contribution to the genre, of course, but it's just like, it's not my type of movie, I guess. I'm dying to know, what do you really think about this movie? Let a know down below. And if you do like it or love it, please come to its defense. I want to hear from you, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this more sort of candid thought overview of a giallo, and ooh, I gotta go recover now. Won't say I'll never watch it again, but probably won't be my choice when I do. All right, well, that's it. Ciao for now.